All right, now the White House is still trying to set the record straight about whether or not a new tax cut is on the way. All week long, the administration has essentially flip-flopped about whether the president is considering a new tax cut in an effort to ward off a slowdown. National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow took questions from reporters about this yesterday. Jessica Smith is in Washington with the latest. So, Jess, I have to ask the big question, are we getting a tax cut or are we not?
Well, the answer right now, as of this moment, is not right away. There could be a proposal for another tax cut sometime during the 2020 campaign, but there is nothing in the works right now, at least according to the White House. It has been a confusing week, as the president said he was considering a payroll tax cut and indexing capital gains to inflation. And then the very next day, he said he was not considering that. Larry Kudlow did try to clear things up yesterday when talking to reporters. He says he does not see any sign of a recession on the horizon, and he doesn't want to have any short-term stimulus. He doesn't think that is needed, but he says he wants to build on the 2017 tax cuts. Here's how he explained what he calls Tax Cuts 2.0.
It's a long-range project to help the long-run growth of the economy, to provide additional tax relief to middle-income people, blue-collar people, small businesses, so forth. That's a long-run project, and it probably will come out during the campaign.
There have been reports that the administration is getting a little jittery about a possible recession on the way. Kudlow denied that. He said there are no recession fears in the near term. He doesn't see that on the horizon. And again, he said there are no plans for short-term stimulus or temporary tax cuts. But we'll be waiting to see if we learn any more about this proposal that could be rolled out in the 2020 campaign.
But Jessica, can they get away with this? Because we know that the capital gains tax cut and the payroll tax cut would have required help from the Democrats to get that passed.
Right.
So to just promise more tax cut during the 2020 campaign season, I mean, is that going to do the trick and help Trump get reelected?
I mean, I think the promise of more tax cuts is something that his base likes to hear. But I have been talking to aides on Capitol Hill. Lawmakers are gone for August recess, but I've been talking to some aides, and they haven't heard anything other than the media reports about these possible tax cuts. Kudlow said yesterday that they were working with people on Capitol Hill, but we haven't seen an actual proposal at this point. We'll be looking for more details during the campaign, but again, that's something that would need congressional approval, as you mentioned, and Democratic lawmakers are probably not too likely to get on board with this unless with the payroll tax cuts, maybe if they could get something else in exchange. But I don't think indexing capital gains to inflation is something that they're going to get on board with.
All right. And we'll keep watching to see if we finally do get that tax cut. Jessica Smith, thank you so much.
Of course.